yo. I should have waited. Man, hit that like button. Hit the Cash App. PayPal. Remember them days? He's gonna hit the Cash App in a minute. Man. Hell, we gotta get busy. Going out back with it. I know what time it is when we come out back. We got Karmelo Anthony, big day. Big day in court. Alrighty. We got Dirk. Dirky, yo. Man, I need a free smirk, man. Free smirk. Somebody posted some shit on Instagram. I guess he tried to clown him. It was like a message thread of a nigga saying, man, shit, that Dirk shit got me fucked up. Man, they try to make it saying like, what you mean, you're a grown ass man? Man, fuck that, man. That Dirk shit got me fucked up too, man. Free smirk, man. I don't like what's going on with Dirk, yo, cause Dirk kept it real, man. When you keep it real, you shouldn't have to deal with none of that fuck shit. You got all these rappers in their entourage, or treating their entourage as bad, not putting them on, not looking out for them. All them niggas broke. And then you got Dirk, who looked out for niggas, put niggas on, put niggas in position, and you bitch ass niggas told on. Niggas hoes. And I don't like the narrative that's being spent about that slide for Vonnie shit. It's like on one end, you got the federal government basically admitting that as soon as King Von died, the plot went in. I mean, as soon as Von left this earth, Get Back was already in motion. But then they trying to make it seem like 6ix9ine and Whack 100 and Slide for Vonnie shit played the role in Dirk decision making. Man, look, right? Let me tell y'all something. Hey, shut your ass up. Oh, shit. Yeah, like they can't have it both ways, man. Yeah, they can't have it both ways, yo. You can on one end say that Dirk was this vicious killer that wanted immediate get back for Von, and then on the other end say that social media pressure played the role. Sounds like to me the federal government don't know which way to go. You feel me? Now you got niggas like 6ix9ine doing a victory lap, and you got the people. Yo, if y'all can remember, right? When they first started pushing this narrative that social media played the role in the retaliation for Von death, yo, what we say over here? Like, man, y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. Ain't no fucking way. Yo, we talking about King Von, man. You feel me? We talking about King Von, yo. And what King Von meant to his hood, to OTF, to everybody. Yo, you think that man needed a motherfucking incentive? If everything is true, even though I'm saying he's not guilty, but if everything is true, you think that man would have needed social media pressure? Just think about it. If you in the streets and one of your main guys get wiped down, yo, ain't no slide for Von or get back for Von. Man, niggas ain't trying to hear none of that shit. Get back is inevitable. Like, I don't need it. Social media pressure plays zero role in anything that may have happened. So I don't even like that, you know, because that narrative implies that, like, niggas stupid. You feel me? Niggas ain't stupid, man. Dirk ain't stupid. Ain't no fucking social media pressure play no role in no fucking retaliation. Like, yo, come on now, man. Like, yo, people be giving motherfucker. Hey, D Johnson, do you do that on his page, yo? Come on, man, don't do that, man. You know I ain't got no problem with him, but I ain't never see you go over there in his page and say, shout out Keefe G News. I ain't never see you do that, bro. Yeah, man. And I think I don't want to even put you on with y'all. Man, what it is? If I ain't mistaken, I seen you in my comments before I seen you in his. I believe I put you on with y'all, but I ain't never see you go over there to your page and say shout out Keefe G News. I ain't never seen it. Oh, all right. Well, did you know he was doing YouTube? I'm just saying, y'all, be fair with it. Like, I fuck with Byron Blake. I ain't got no issues with him. I love what Byron Blake is doing. But he go live. He posts videos. Go over there and say salute to Keefe G News, man. All right. I'm just saying, I ain't never seen it. You could do. I take that back if you do. But I ain't never seen it. Shit, you know, everything. What I'm say about Johnny IG. All right, we ready. We gonna check all that out, y'all. I just gotta get some narratives right on this Dirk shit, man, because I don't like how the narrative, they trying to spin the narrative like this nigga was, like he really let social media trick him out the streets. You know what I mean? He really, like this nigga, a grown ass man, really allowed, a grown ass man that's getting money, really allowed social media to trick him out the streets. Really allowed 6ix9ine, man. Fuck out of here, man. Ain't no fucking way, man. Like, yo, people be giving people too much credit. Like, Wack 100 name and 6ix9ine name is mentioned in the paperwork or at the court hearing is because they are the ones that created that Slide for Von shit. But that Slide for Von shit ain't have nothing to do with anything that may have proceeded afterwards. Nah, yo, you talking about, man? Nah, we ain't doing that. Not over here. That shit bogus. Like Dirk even said in one of his songs. You niggas say he slide for Von, but then got the nerve to clown us. Like, that nigga was aware of that. Nigga ain't wasn't gonna let no social media pressure influence no decisions on the streets. Like, yo, that'd be fucking stupid, man. And I don't think you're dumb. But let's get to the paperwork, man. Let's get to the fuck going on. Yo, come on, now, move. Come on. Yeah, I just don't like how they try and make, like, yo, it been some horrible narratives put on Dirk, yo, since he been going through this situation, man. It been some horrible narratives, yo. Like, I'd be glad when this trial is over. You feel me? For all the people that say Jam wasn't testifying, Jam is testifying, but don't be surprised. I told y'all, when it come down to OTF Jam, I'm trying to tell you, you don't know what you're gonna get based off of what it seems like his character is. He can get up there and do some woody shit. I'm telling you, it's going to be some highlights from his testimony. I guarantee you. And if I was the defense team, my core focus would be to make him mad. Get him to show his true colors on the stand, man. I think Jan was jealous of Dirk. I think Vonnie just was a bitch. You feel me? I think Jan was jealous, man. I think Jan looked at Dirk as his lower homeboy. Who can plead the fifth? You can only plead the fifth to self-incrimination. You can't plead the fifth when it comes down to, questions about others. Just self-incrimination. They might not give him immunity. They probably learned from that Woody situation. Because the only reason Woody was able to pull a play he pulled is because they gave him immunity. Without immunity, Woody wouldn't be able to do that. Without immunity, Woody was going to get on that fucking stand and spill the beans. So for the people that's praising Woody, talking about what I'm saying, yo, but he really saved the case. Nah, man, you can't put me in a situation and get me out of it and be looked at as a hero. The fuck out of here. Like, yo, people be crazy. Like, yo, you put, like, you should. That's the least you could have done. You feel me? But you'll never get viewed as a hero. God damn. Why you hope he get 10 to 20? He ain't getting 10 to 20. Only way Dirk get 10 to 20 is if Dirk cop out. If Dirk get found guilty, they gonna get Dirk life, man. Straight up. That's just keeping it all the way real. If he get found guilty, they giving him life. I think he got a chance to beat it. Especially when the federal government been playing so dirty the whole trial. I don't know what Vonnie knew either. That's another thing too, y'all. Like, nobody knows what Vonnie actually knew. Vonnie could have just been there. You feel me? Unaware of what he was actually doing. Just being told to do things. Because a nigga like him, I don't think you allow him to be privy to the play. You know what I mean? Because from what we know about Vonnie not even no street dude. So I don't even think you give him too much information. You treat Vonnie like how them boys treated Alicia Andrews. You know what I mean? That's how you treat Vonnie. We'll see. We'll see what they say. Trials, what, next week? Monday? Monday start jury selection. I mean, we don't know what he know. You can be told to go buy a ski mask for a music video. You don't know what he know. Trial start Thursday, tomorrow. Shit. Damn, yo, Dirk beat that shit, man. Damn, I don't want to see Dirk go down for that, yo. I don't, yo. I swear I don't. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't want to see Dirk go down for that, man. Damn. I just hope, yo, the music industry motherfucking... because Dirk is valuable, yo. And we know the music industry is tied in with the federal government. Hopefully they, that'd be crazy to let Dirk... Yeah, Dirk and Jam a hoe, man. I think Jam was just jealous. I think he was jealous of Dirk, man. You gotta remember, yo, from what I understand, Jam is D-Thing homeboy. They probably was jealous the whole time. It be niggas like that. I be warning y'all them type of niggas. Niggas that be around you and don't even like you. You feel me? I even seen something they was saying Jam thought that him taking them, when Dirk gave him a 50,000, it was like a fucking, I think Trap Lil Ross said this shit. it was like a down payment. Like, yo, that shit not gonna fly with no jewelry, man. He only gave me 50,000, as a way to, to get me to do things in the future. Man, fuck James. I'm a bitch. Hope nigga put a fucking 10-inch blade through him on Grand Theft Auto. For real, man. A 10-inch blade in his bitch ass. We might gotta go in the house, yo, because we can't even see the fucking screen to the computer. Damn a bitch. You think so, Nene? I don't think so. I don't think Jam's smart enough to bury dirt. I think Jam can be. I think Jam can be. I think they can expose Jam. I think they can expose Jam, man. And the way you expose Jam is to attack his character, to make him display his true character on that stain. That's how you attack somebody like him. Can y'all see that? What do we got going in the house? Can y'all see this? Or is it too light? Let me know, y'all. I can hardly see it. Alright, yo, so let me... Shit. Hold on. Let me do this real quick, y'all. Hold on. Don't go nowhere, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, I seen that. Hopefully the judge, the defense can spin that. So, yo, Jan was uncontrollable. Nah, I don't think. Shit. You think I think that? I know the jury ain't gonna think like I think. You know, I know the jury ain't gonna think how I think, cause I don't even trust niggas under indictment. I think off top, anybody under indictment in testifying, I don't think you can believe them, cause these niggas will say anything to get out of the case. For real. I don't trust no nigga under indictment telling. No, that's not necessarily true, Nene. If the defense team is able to convince the jury that whatever Jam admitted to, it's proof that Dirk couldn't control him. You understand what I'm saying? It's proof that Dirk could not control him. So if he say he shot this, all these people, and it's evident that Dirk was like, yo, what the fuck is you doing? You bringing too much heat towards us. Shit, you could convince the jury that he did it on his own, and Dirk ain't tell him nothing. You know what I mean? That's how they do, bro. That's how they do. So let me give y'all the list of the things that was ruled on in court. Some of the rulings that went down. Yo, can y'all see this? Let me know if y'all can see this or not, man, because I can't really see it that good on my end. Might gotta go in the house. Is this clear? Is this clear, y'all? Somebody let me know, y'all. We need to go in the house. So it say that, all right, so these are the evidence that's being admitted in the court and what's not being admitted. These are the rulings. The 911 call on August 19th by an unknown witness to the shooting. They're admitting that. Excerpts from LASD body cameras footage from the crime scene, admitted as experts for government proposal at the hearing. Additional excerpts from the LA sheriff's, what the fuck is LASD? Body camera footage from the crime scene. Move as to evidence. Omit as to non-graphic screenshots. So basically, moot means, it can mean a few things. It could mean that it's not a point of contention, or it's so irrelevant that the judge is not even going to rule on it. TMZ footage of TB's reaction, they're going to admit that, which tells me that the government is going to try to focus on that no, and try to connect some of Dirk's songs to Quando Rondo saying that as a way to say that Dirk admitted to the shooting. 4 autopsy photos of SR admitted to third party photo only. SR's autopsy report moot. I think moot in this sense means it's common sense. That's going to be allowed then. Excerpts from messages between Dirk and Co-Conspirator 3 of screenshots of Instagram posts. They're going to admit that. Excerpts of messages between Banks and Co-Conspirator 5. Breezy interview. Alvin, who the fuck is Breezy? What's the com? Is he talking about 600 Breezy? Hey, Alvin, you still here? What 600 Breezy say in the interview? Well, I don't know if they even going to allow this in. They ruled that as moot. So I don't know if they're going to allow that in. Oh, man, come on now. Excerpt of messages between Banks and Co-Conspirator 3. Country transporting pipes. There must be some test messages. Surveillance footage from November 6, 2020. Excerpts from unreleased Red Man music video. We know what that is. They said it was supposed to have been a Dirk supposed to have been shooting Quando Rondo. Screenshots from Man I Was With for Game. Podcast featuring Dirk Banks with large amounts of cash on February 17, 2022. Now, I don't understand this relevance because I think what the feds was trying to say originally. Hold up, Alvin. So are they allowing them? Did the feds ultimately get that Chicago case submitted into evidence? They must did if they letting this go through. Video allegedly taken during podcast filming, featuring multiple individuals with firearms, excluded. Yes, I don't understand what's the relevance to this. What they going to show that he got the means to pay for a hit by showing up with large amounts of cash? That's the only reason I can see them highlighting that. Compilation of photographs of firearms seized from Protected Witness 2's iCloud account. Protected Witness 2, that's Vonnie, right? Combination of photographs of Protected Witness 2 and Banks from Protected Witness 2's iCloud account, moot. So I guess it's not relevant, or it must be an agreement on that. Screenshots of Vaughn wearing OTF and O-Block chains and Vaughn's Welcome to My Neighborhood video. I guess they're using this to to say that this is a criminal gang. And Vaughn was OTF. Yeah, that's why the federal government wants to admit this. This is proof that Vaughn was OTF and it is a criminal gang. So they're going to try to use this to get for evidence of a RICO. Thrust to everybody video. Moot. Come on, man. Ain't trying to let me go. Oh, here we go. Photographs of Banks, Wilson, and others with cash. They're admitting that. Photographs of Banks with cash. Moot. Because you already allowed the one photograph and they don't need to, allow another one. Video excerpts from Instagram Live depicting Banks with others. Video Wilson took of himself inside vehicle. Photographs of Houston and Banks' brother with text overlaid. Omit as redacted or substituted as stated at the hearing. And Banks' brother with text overlaid. Okay. I guess they're using that to show the connection between Dirk and Asa Houston. September 24, 2022, Instagram Live video taken by Wilson. Omit as to Wilson only with limited instructions. Photographs of Wilson from Instagram account. Excerpt of Banks' interview with DJ Academics dated May 23rd, 2023. He hates snitches and rats. Academics, you gonna discuss this? Your bitch ass. Excerpts of Banks' interview with DJ Academics dated the same date. NBA Youngboy and Vonnie. Yo, DJ Academics was used to set Dirk up, y'all. I'm trying to explain. Look at this. Slide for Vonnie comments. Academics knew what he was doing, man. I can't believe Dirk even did that fucking interview. Academics has yet to even talk about none of his involvement in Dirk case. Screenshots of video from Protected Witness 1 Federal Freestyle. So that's Jam. Screenshots from Banks' cell phone. Excerpts of Wilson Instagram messages. Quando Rondo, where y'all pipe was at, gang? God damn, Didi, why the fuck you say that? You said that? That's crazy. The fuck would you say that for? Admit as to Wilson on only with limited instructions. Excerpts of Banks and Wilson messages where Banks says GDK. Excerpts of Instagram messages from Lindsay and Wilson from February 22nd, 2022 and March 18th, 2022. What the fuck did they say on Instagram? Excerpts of messages between Banks and manager. Experts of co-conspirator 4 messages about TB. So this is moot. Excerpts of messages between Banks and co-conspirator 4. That's submitted on August 19th and August 20th. Excerpts of messages between Banks and co-conspirator 4. Who the fuck is co-conspirator 4, y'all? Yeah, so that's all things that's going to be admitted into evidence. We'll see how the feds put all that shit together. I think Dirk put himself in this position by being loyal to fuck boys. Being loyal to fuck boys is what got Dirk in this position. So the Trap Lord Ross, man, hold on, man. We gotta talk about this shit first too, y'all. Young Thug tells students fame is the most important thing. Yeah, like, come on, man. Stop this shit, Fulton County. We do not need Young Thug doing this anymore. He's obviously not fit. Like, they think just because a person a rapper or been in the streets and been arrested, they qualify. We don't need Young Thug talking to the children. Let this, whatever community service he got, let it either cancel it out or have him do something different. Make him collect trash or something. I mean, do some road work. Like I did road crew before. I got a citation for urinating in public a few times, and I had to go pick up trash on the side of the road. Let Young Thug do that shit, man. You feel me? Like, we don't need this no more. Like, let this be the end of this. Whatever community service he got, let him do that, man.
Whatever job it is, whatever your career is, if you're famous, you're almost as important as the richest person in the world. Because like we humans, so fame is like more so like the money for us. Fame is money. So fame is really the most important. It's very.
Yo, come on now. Look at the kids. They not even buying this shit. Like, what is he talking about? Fulton County. We don't need Young Thug in the schools no more. Make this the last time we ever see him talk to black children.
Important. You gotta keep up with it. You gotta always make sure it leads you to the right room. You gotta know when it's the wrong room. You gotta know how to move. You gotta move totally different. You gotta move military. So many things people don't know about fame that's like very important. But some of the things I just named are like really important. You gotta know how to move. You gotta know how to be. Because you end up in like situations, you know. I've ended up in situations. Like, whatever.
Yeah, we don't need no more of that. He said recently he had to stop wearing nail polish because, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's an old interview. And that just shows you the type of guy he is. You know? It was cool for him to wear nail polish when it was just affecting our children. But once his son wanted to do it, now it's a problem. Yeah, Young Thug a fucking clown. Young Thug a clown. So let's listen to her first.
We're not against rap. We're not against rappers. But we are against those thugs.
A federal judge in LA has already decided that the jury can see his video for Piss Me Off. There's a part in that video that, in my opinion, needs to be reconsidered before any juror sees it. In the video, there's emulated gunfire directly at the camera. There's a muzzle flash effect. Dirk faces the lens, extends his hands towards it, and numerous people are making gun-like gestures. Now put that on a giant courtroom screen. The jury's sitting where the camera is, so they're not just hearing violent lyrics. They're watching the defendant appear to shoot at them. And that's going to make him look completely different than the man they've been seeing sitting next to his attorneys at counsel table while the jury's being selected, if that video is played during opening statement. And so that can quickly turn into, oh, this is what he's capable of. And that's exactly why Rule 403 exists. I personally attended the hearing on August 13th, and the defense stated there are guns in this video. And assuming memory serves correct and accurate, the prosecution said there are no guns. And to me, saying no guns completely misses the point. To me, that's like saying there's no punch in the video, but a video would show, for example, someone swinging directly at someone's face but doesn't hit it. So there's no punch. I'm not saying that that's what's in Dirk's video. I'm giving an analogy. So it's like, okay, maybe technically, but that's not what the person on the receiving end experiences. And here, the person on the receiving end is the jury. So I watched the video again, and maybe there's no real firearm being visibly discharged, but there is emulated gunfire. There's a muzzle flash effect. And I think the judge should watch that sequence himself before any member of the jury does. And I think the court should state on the record that it reviewed the entire video. Because the Ninth Circuit, where we are here, has already ruled that when evidence is inflammatory, the judge just can't rely on what the lawyers said were in it. No, the court has to actually look. And then there's this witness. The prosecution says this witness was there when the video was filmed, and that he talked to Dirk, and that, I don't know, he can explain the imagery and the lyrics. Fine, if you had a conversation with Dirk, testify about the conversation. But that conversation is not a lyric in this song. It's not recorded in this video. Being present at a music video shoot doesn't make you a director, a rap expert, a visual effects expert, none of these things. So back to this ruling. In our society, it seems like everybody gets an artistic license. Actors can shoot at cameras. Movies can show murder. And I find it a bit selectively discriminatory that when a black man does it in rap, suddenly that's evidence of the kind of person he is. I find that unfair. And this is way bigger than Dirk. This affects not only black artists, but black defendants across the country. So even if by trying again, which is what I think should happen, the judge doesn't throw the entire video out, at a minimum, try to not let the government start this trial by showing Dirk, the defendant, shooting at them. Because once they see that image, they probably can't unsee it. And you know how it is. They're not against rap. They're not against rappers, but they are against those thugs. While I recognize that some places, some cities have, lots of black jurors, lots of black attorneys, lots of black judges, LA is not one of them. And my prediction is that this jury is not going to be half black, not going to be near that. And when I think of those jurors seeing images like this, visuals like this, I know that looks like America's nightmare. When something's not right, you gotta say something. And I don't think this is fair.
We're not against rap.
Alright. She been doing great coverage of Dirk. Sleep to her. I've been trying to get on my page.
All right, let's talk a little Dirk. Trial coming up tomorrow. Got a great legal team. My name is Brad Cohen. I've been doing this for 30 years, give or take. This guy hasn't been doing it for any years. You're 3 out. So,
Put in that work.
that's debatable. Let's talk about little Dirk. So, what's going on? A lot of stuff going on. I'm going to give you a quick breakdown. Then we're going to get some attitude from this guy that probably knows nothing about anything about the case. But let's see. There he goes. So, long story short is, his legal team has been doing a lot of work. They got the RICO case severed from this case. They're going to try this case this week. The prosecution continues to try to get different forms of evidence in because that's what they do. They throw everything at the wall, see what sticks. This is the newest, is that they want to have a video from 6ix9ine and Whack 100 talking about that. All right, let's talk a little Dirk. Trial coming up tomorrow.
They want the video introduced?
Got a great. Dirk was not sliding for Vonnie, and allegedly that was the motivation. That one thing was really the motivation that wanted him to start hiring people allegedly to try and kill Vonnie.
I know that Dennis podcast.
Quando. Doesn't matter. Long story short is, this is what the prosecution does on Fed cases. If you have never had a Fed case, this is what they do. They throw everything at you and try to make you scramble to defend.
If I was the defense, I would summons Quando Rondo to court and get that nigga to deny everything. That's the fuck I would do. For real. If I was the defense, y'all, I would summons Quando Rondo to court, y'all. Cause I don't think Quando Rondo is willing to tell or testify. I summons his ass to court and get him to say that shit was all entertainment. It was all entertainment. It wasn't no real beef. Yup, that's the fuck I would do. For real. Hold up, y'all. This motherfucker. He get bit by a mosquito about that bitch. Hey, what y'all think about that, y'all? Y'all think that'd be a good idea? Y'all think that'd be a good idea? Get Quando Rondo to deny everything? Man, this shit was entertainment. It wasn't real. For real, y'all. If I was the defense, I'd summons his ass, man. Straight up. Excellent. You know what I mean? Last witness. You know, we would like to call whatever Quando Rondo name is to this thing. fuck everything up. Oh shit.
I can tell you the last appearance I made on Fox was it was.
Man, we fuck everything up, man. Trying to. Bring Karmelo ass on that stand. They telling people this shit wasn't real, man. Tell me we was only doing this for entertainment purposes only. The feds be mad as shit you pull a move like that. Cause I think Karmelo would do that. To be honest, I think Karmelo would get up that bitch and be like, "Yup, y'all, it was all fake." Really was good friends behind closed doors. Alright. Man, I appreciate it, written. You already know. My fucking mosquito bit the shit out of me, man. So I had to come in the house. Not this.
Dirk was not sliding for Vaughn, and allegedly that was the motivation. That one thing was really the motivation that wanted him to start hiring people allegedly to try and kill Vaughn,
See, yo, but that's confusing though, y'all. Because that argument voids the first argument that when King Von died, Dirk was already on trying to get back. So that's what it means. Like he said, somebody they just throwing shit to the wall to make it stick. Like how you gonna make both points? How you gonna make this a point, but then in the same breath, say that the day King Von died is when Dirk was texting people and saying he ain't letting this slide and all that other shit. Yeah, but it's not 35. 35 witnesses can be anything, yo. They can be expert witnesses. They can be character witnesses. Like they don't have to be witnesses with, witnesses to a crime.
Quando Rondo, or Rondo Quando, doesn't matter. Long story prior to this, so we're going to see how it goes. I think it's going to be super, super interesting. I think this case is going to be one of those cases that you want to follow because it's going to get almost lost in the sauce. Do you know what I mean by that?
A little bit. You can explain it more.
Sure, I will. They're going to start explaining relationships and Bobby Smith and Joe Bob and all these other things that are going on in the background. Obviously, the judge will probably let 90% of it in. The defense will object. They're very good lawyers that he has, Drew and Brian Steele. And they will be objecting to those things. The judge is probably going to let half that stuff in. But a lot of times juries can't follow all this stuff that's going on because there's so many relationships, so many individuals they're talking to. The guys who are going to take the stand are probably all scumbags. They probably have a long list of criminal history. So they're going to have their way with them on cross-examination. Go, Jordan. You got 5 seconds. Hit it.
Well, I think that
prior to this. So we're going to see how it goes.
The prosecution doesn't have a very strong case.
Wow.
Throwing everything out here.
That's a lot.
Just seeing what's going to happen. I think Brian Steele is going to, do what he does and probably kick some ass.
It's really good.
Yeah.
All right, free Dirk.
Free Dirk. The prosecution doesn't have a very strong case.
Wow.
All right, what you send me, bro?
PW1 that's who that lyric is about, and PW1 was incarcerated, and Dirk Banks was providing financial support to him, and when this PW1 got out, Dirk gave him more money. PW1 that's who that lyric is about, and PW1 was incarcerated, and Dirk Banks was providing financial support to him, and when this PW1 got out, Dirk gave him more money.
Who's this? What is TikTok? I'm not a lawyer, but that's all you sent me was that? Oh, let's go to Trap Lil Ross video, y'all. I'm gonna be highly upset if we gotta get the news from Trap Lil Ross, man. For real. It gotta be somebody else that's at that court hearing. What's her name on TikTok? What's her name on TikTok? I'm not a lawyer. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, cause I'm not trying to follow Trap Lil Ross coverage. For real. I'm not trying to follow Trap Lil Ross coverage. Here you go.
I'm not a lawyer, but I just got back from Dirk's August 13th pretrial hearing, so let me fill you in on the highlights. And as a reminder, Dirk's federal trial is currently scheduled to begin on August 20th, 2026. So this hearing happened exactly 1 week before jury selection and the trial is supposed to start. And there was a lot to go over, so try to keep up. So first up was Dirk's Piss Me Off video. The government filed a motion asking for that video to be allowed in the trial because, according to them, it was Dirk basically issuing a call to arms. The government specifically referenced the lyrics, quote, "Why you act like you support us? If you do, hop in that coupe. Grab a gun if you ain't with it. Put up money for a gun. Put up money for a hot car. Put up money for a bond." So the government argued that this was Dirk expressing his anger and disappointment of other people not sliding for bond. And they say one of their cooperating witnesses was on the scene when the video for that song was filmed. And this person is also the person who allegedly got the hot car that was used in this LA murder. And this witness says it was done at the direction of Dirk. So in regards to this argument of this music video being allowed in, the judge allowed both sides to make their arguments, and at the end, he ordered that the music video can be used in the trial. Okay, next up was the argument regarding evidence from Dirk's cell phone that law enforcement obtained after his house was robbed back in 2021 in Georgia. But before we get into this argument, there's some important context that you need to understand. So back in 2021, when law enforcement first got Dirk's phone, they did an extraction on it. But they did that extraction under what's called before first unlock. And that basically means law enforcement was able to power Dirk's phone on, but they were not able to unlock it. And so when an extraction is done on a phone that's turned on but not unlocked, only some information is able to be exported. So in this case, when law enforcement did the extraction, they were able to retrieve a bunch of thumbnails with dates and times, but they're not able to see who sent those thumbnails or if Dirk responded to the thumbnails or any other context related to the thumbnails. And so while the government has 3 to 4 thumbnails that they found in the extraction and want to use in the trial, one containing the address of Lil Tim, aka Timothy Leaks, one is a flyer about a concert Quando Rondo had, and then the third one is some kind of article that references the time Quando Rondo got shot in Georgia. Dirk's attorney, Christy O'Connor, made the argument that it's unfair to use these thumbnails because nobody has the full context of them. So the government is left with 2 options. Number 1, Dirk can give them the password to the phone, and that way they can unlock it and get the full context of these thumbnails, which is clearly never going to happen. Or the second option is the government has some kind of IT person somewhere to hack the phone. And so as of right now, they're trying to hack it. But in the meantime, while this phone has not been hacked, Dirk's attorney says whatever's on this phone should not be allowed in the trial. And just to be clear, this thumbnail context issue is just one of the reasons Christy O'Connor is arguing that the phone evidence should not be allowed in. She also argued that the phone shouldn't have been taken in the first place back in 2021, and that law enforcement has had it for 5 years, despite one of Dirk's attorneys asking for it back. And then the third reason is Dirk's attorney says if the phone is able to be hacked, they would want their own experts to review the contents of the phone. And with trial starting in a week, there's no time for that. So the judge makes a few decisions on this issue. Number one, the issue overall is being taken under submission, but all parties should prepare as if the judge is going to allow the phone evidence in. And then number two, while the judge is deciding if the evidence will come in, the government should continue trying to hack it. And if they are able to get in, and if the judge does allow the evidence in, it wouldn't come in until toward the end of the trial so that the defense has enough time to get an expert to review the hacked phone. Okay, the next issue was the government's motion for a gag order, and that motion was denied. The judge said a gag order is not necessary right now. And then after that was the government's motion to exclude testimony from 4 experts that Dirk wants to testify. But the judge denied this request, saying that his normal practice is to allow all experts to testify and then let the jury decide who they believe. Next up had to do with the government's motion in limine number 6, which was filed under seal, so we weren't able to actually read what it says. But during the hearing, this motion was brought up, and it seems to be about the government wanting to play clips from 10 of Dirk's songs. After hearing arguments about this, the judge told the government to pick 2 of the 10 songs, and they can decide if those will be discussed at the next hearing. Okay, so there were a few more rulings, but I'm going to jump to some of the other highlights from the day that you might find interesting. Number one is the government says they have 35 witnesses that they want to testify in this trial. And the judge was shocked by this number. Shocked. But the government followed that up by saying only 20 of the 35 are actually substantive. The other 15 are more of a formality. And if the government and the defense can come to some kind of stipulation regarding some of those, they won't be necessary to testify. Okay, and then lastly, the trial is expected to last 2 to 3 weeks, going Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Jury selection is scheduled to start on Thursday, August 20th, and openings are scheduled to start on Friday. For opening statements, each side will get 1 hour, and because there are 3 defendants, they will have to split that 1 hour up however they choose. Okay, I think that's it. Bye. I'm not a lawyer, but I just got back from Dirk's August 13th pretrial hearing, so let me fill you in on the highlights. And as a reminder, Dirk's federal trial is currently scheduled to begin on August 20th, 2026.
This ain't even right.
So this hearing happened exactly 1 week before jury selection and the trial is supposed to start. And there was a lot.
I don't think this is the right one, y'all. Damn, my phone right there. Yeah, that was last week's here. My phone on 1%.
I'm not a lawyer, but I went to the Dirk hearing today and I did a lot, so I'm not going to have time to edit a proper video, but I did a YouTube live where I went over what happened at the hearing and what the judge has ruled. I also did a lot of tweets on my Twitter about what happened today, and now I'm just going to give you the highlights of what happened. But if you want the full recap, I don't have time to edit a video, so go to my YouTube. But for now, let me give you the highlights. Number one, Dirk has 25 lay witnesses. That doesn't include his experts. 25 lay witnesses that he has on his witness list that he can call. It may change. He may not call all of them, but there's 25 lay witnesses he has on his witness list. And one of those witnesses is apparently an attorney that previously represented one of the defendants. Now, they didn't say the defendant's name, the attorney's name or the defendant's name that this person represented. But the judge said there is an attorney's name on this list that leapt out at me, and the prosecution hasn't seen this list yet, so we need to discuss basically this witness. Eventually, they kind of discussed, and the prosecutor said, we have an idea of who we believe this witness is, and the judge said, you're right, the person you're thinking is who it is, and so they're going to confer. It may not be a big issue, but apparently there is somebody's attorney or previous attorney on Dirk's witness list that they may or may not call, but is on the list to be called. So that was T.
I don't understand that.
The second thing is PW1, also known as Protected Witness Number 1, is going to be doing a lot of testifying about a lot of exhibits. There were a number of times today where the prosecutor said, Protected Witness PW1 is going to testify to this, this, and this. So this person, PW1 is going to have a lot to say, and the prosecutor actually, which was a bit surprising, the prosecutor said that PW1 is wearing an orange sweater in the Block Is Hot video. Prosecutor said that in the hearing today.
And so he was testifying that the prosecutor, this witness, this PW1, is going to be able to testify about Block is Hot, which is a video featuring DeAndre Wilson. He's going to be testifying that during that video shoot, apparently, Dirk and some other co-conspirators kind of confronted him in a bathroom and said that he was being reckless with his crimes and that he needed to kind of chill out, basically, with committing. He can't be out there committing murders because you're going to get us caught up. So PW1 is going to testify that during this video shoot, they confronted him in the bathroom and told him that he needs to chill out with, he can't be committing all these murders out there, and he needs to chill out with his crimes because he's being a bit reckless. So, okay, the next thing is, at the last hearing, the prosecutors were saying there were 10 songs that they were trying to get into the hearing. The judge told them to pick 2 of the 10 and come back to him at this hearing to figure out which ones they wanted to get admitted. The judge said that him and the clerk were taking bets on which songs that the prosecutors were going to pick. He didn't tell us if he guessed right, but the prosecutors today said that they want to get in back again into the trial, and they also plan on playing Still Running. So those have both been admitted. The reason they wanted to play Back Again is because apparently Back Again has some lyrics about PW1, and the lyric is jam. Jam, get out that jam, gave him 50. He don't gotta ask again. So they're saying that PW1 that's who that lyric is about, and PW1 was incarcerated, and Dirk Banks was providing financial support to him. And when this PW1 got out, Dirks gave him more money. And then there's another line in that song.
I don't think that's gonna work, y'all.
Catching murders way back when the Mac was in. And so PW1 is going to testify that lyric is about him because his favorite gun was a Mac. The other song is Still Running.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. Like, they're trying to convince the jury that Dirk basically was paying for hits, paying layaway for hits. You know, I just was sliding the money just in case I needed something done. Then they'd do it. I don't know if that's a strong argument, y'all. That's why I don't know if that's strong. Cause remember, at first they were saying, oh, he thought he was pressured. You know, he just felt pressured that he had to do these things. Now they saying that, you know, no, he really financed the hits. You know, he bought hits on layaway. I don't know how strong that's gonna be, for real. I really don't. God damn, y'all shit like a fucking dumb.
And the lyric is, you must be out your mind. You think we not spinning for bro. So that's the government saying that was Dirk saying that he was going to spin basically for Von. And then the other lyric is that Rolls Royce better be bulletproof. And that the government is saying is in reference to an interview that Quando Rondo did, in which he is in a Rolls Royce. So they're saying that lyric is about Quando Rondo because he was in a Rolls Royce. You get it. And then the last highlight I'll go over again. Go to my YouTube if you want a fuller one, or go to my Twitter. This is why I make videos and edit them. But just follow me. I'm tired.
Let's go to her YouTube. I know she had a YouTube. I'm not a lawyer, but. She got 974 videos and 150,000 subscribers. That don't make sense. She fuck around be on Black Effect. If y'all ain't see that live the other day, y'all, we found out who's running Black YouTube. And it is fucking Charlemagne the God. Black Effect.
This is my last live of the day. I just literally tweeted yesterday that I hate live streaming, but I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to cover this Dirk trial when it starts in a way that I can communicate. I need to put it back up. Okay. gang kind of situation. That was bifurcated or separated. The judge was like, these new charges you have to take up another time. And so today the judge said, nobody has sent me a date for the second trial. Nobody has sent me the date y'all want to have these other charges tried. So he basically told the prosecutors, give me something, and basically give me the date before whenever the Speedy Trial Act would end. Give me the week before that so we can put it on there. So
I don't think they're gonna prosecute this second trial. Like if Dirk beat this, they're not coming back with that Chicago case. I'm telling you. They don't got no strong case with it. That's why they tried to merge it with this one. If they was able to merge that case to this case, it would have made this case stronger. But that Chicago case on its own is weak as a motherfucker.
That was the first thing that happened. And now let's go to, because I'm going to be able to help like make this make sense as you scroll or as you're looking at this. Okay. So let me just pull it up. Okay. So I'm going to go to his chart and we're going to start with the first thing that was covered was about Exhibit 41. And so you see Exhibit 41 said, oh, here we go. Okay, so the first thing they covered was this Exhibit 41, 4 autopsy photos of SR. And basically, Brian Steele was saying, we don't need to show the jurors these autopsy photos. We all know that he died, SR survived Robinson by gunfire, so that's not necessary. But the government was saying we have to be able to tell a complete story, and a part of the story is the fact that, you know, this happened to him. Jurors need to see this. So it looks like the judge is saying admitted as to the third photo only. So of the 4, and what was argued today was specifically about 2 pictures, but it looks like the judge has only decided 1 of those pictures will come in. The next one I have is Exhibit 145. So let's go down. It's a compilation of photographs of firearms seized from PW2's iCloud account. And actually, Brian Steele withdrew his motion that this not be included. So it looks like, oh, but it looks like the judge said, oh, because Brian Steele withdrew. He basically was like, these can come in, that's fine. Okay, so that's that one. 148, screenshot of Vaughn wearing OTF and O-Block chains in Vaughn's Welcome to My Neighborhood video. So that was argued today. Really, the government wants this in because they want to say it is central to who King Von was. And the fact that he was a real gangster is what they said. The fact that he was a real gangster. And in Dirk's own words, he was taken out, a real gangster taken out. And so the government is saying this picture in particular is to help them show that this was done out of motivation and gang motivation specifically. Actually, it says Brian Steele actually ended up withdrawing his opposition, so that one is clearly admitted. Let's see, 152 and 159, photo of Banks, Wilson, and others with cash. 159, photo of Banks, Wilson, and others with cash. So both of those, 152, 159, are admitted, right? Yep. Which was surprising because Dirk's team was trying to say we don't need both. It should be either 152 or 159. But the government said that 152 in particular is one of the first leads LAPD. So after Savai Robinson was killed, Chicago PD told LAPD about DeAndre Wilson and gave LAPD Wilson's Instagram account. And so Exhibit 152 is what they saw on DeAndre's Instagram account. And so PW1 is going to testify that these are from a music video from the set of Risky, and that the money that is referenced in 152 and 159 were split amongst co-conspirators. And so the judge ruled, if y'all witness is going to testify about this, it can come in.
Okay. We're moving on to, I put in my tweets, there was a lot of talk about PW1 today, a lot of talk about PW1, and the government gave some information about who that is for the first time. 156 is the video of Banks and others during the filming of Pissed Me Off. That is admitted. And PW1 is going to testify about that as well. 163. Oh, this was about photograph of Houston and Banks' brother with text overlaid. The government said that they will remove the text, but the government was saying that it basically just shows the relationship between Dirk's brother and Asa Houston, and showing why Dirk would be loyal or be comfortable with Houston participating in this murder. So obviously that's admitted without the text. 182. Screenshot of music video for Wilson's Block is Hot. Again, it's to show the relationship between Dirk and DeAndre Wilson. And this is the one where the government said PW1 is wearing an orange sweater in this video. I don't know why they said that, but that's what they said. So obviously Block is Hot is admitted. 182, another screenshot. Judge said that's admitted. 183 and 184. 183 is from Seen It All screenshot. 184 freestyle screenshot. PW1 is going to testify that the screenshot from Seen It All has Dirk or has Wilson throwing up gang signs. And so PW1 is going to testify that the gang signs he's throwing up is a sign of disrespect to another gang. And he'll also testify about when these videos were filmed. And PW1 was featured in Federal Freestyle. And he says he's going to testify, PW1, that he was featured in Federal Freestyle because of what he did in this murder, is what he's going to say. He's also going to say that he believes that if he didn't do the murder, he would have been excommunicated from OTF and he would have not been featured in this video. And so that's why 183 and 184 will get in. I have 202 excerpts of Banks and Wilson referencing GDK, which the government says stands for Gangsta Disciple Killers, and they are rivals to Black disciples that the government is saying Banks was a member of. And Brian Steele was arguing that this is just prejudicial. It's just trying to show reference to being a gang, and so it should not be in. But it looks like, oh, judge is excluding that one.
We already went through all that.
Okay. So the reference to the Gangsta Disciple Killers is exclude multiple instances. So that.
All right, let's see what the fuck. We're gonna pivot out of Dirk's situation, man. I just ain't like the false narratives. Like I seen this shit right here from 6ix9ine goofy ass. 6ix9ine was on academics.
All right, listen, this is on my heart. I was about
6ix9ine was on academics and was talking cold cash shit.
When he didn't slide, they made fun of him. Now that he slid and is in jail, they making fun of him. So damn if you do, damn if you don't. But guess who's smarter than that?
You helped the bully of Dirk. I guess people, why did you get bullied to go pick up a gun and go get law? You know, that's not crazy.
Look, they pushing the narrative that Dirk got bullied. Like, yo, get the fuck out of here, yo. This is why you need guys like me on this internet, yo. Imagine if you had the real guys off the internet, and this is all you had was this. Like, yo, there's over there pushing the narrative that Dirk was bullied. If everything is true, Dirk was bullied by the internet, who we know is 85% goofballs. Come on, man. Ain't no way. But this is the narrative they rather run. A blatant lie to make it look like Dirk, who's a street guy, is stupid and got tricked off the streets by a whole bunch of internet guys that means nothing to him in his day-to-day life. Get the fuck out of here, y'all. We not rocking with that. Ain't no way.
Yes, but understand.
What's up, Nick?
You think I'm listening to 9 to 5ers, bro? You think niggas gonna trick me? I won, nigga. Look at me, nigga. I mean, something I.
Yo, and look, he always finds a way to turn it back to him. Yo, nobody expected you to do no gangster shit 6ix9ine. Like, what the fuck is you talking about, bro? Like, you and Dirk ain't the same. Like, y'all don't deserve to be mentioned in the same breath. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what is he talking about, y'all? And then academics sitting over there talking to him like, what are you talking about? Nobody tried to trick. Everybody knew you was gonna tuck your tail, bro. Nobody expected you to retaliate. Everybody knew once you got arrested, you was snitching. Like, yo, you and Dirk aren't the same type of people. I think Wack 100 even had to tell him that one time. Like, yo, stop putting yourself in that lane. But at the same time, look, he wants to be looked at in that light. But at the same time, don't want to be referenced as a snitch. Man, get the fuck out of here, 6ix9ine. This dumbass shit.
Say, I won, nigga. I'm smarter than y'all niggas, bro. I hate this nigga, bro. Why he yelling? Oh my god, bro. These niggas is stupid, bro. Nah. You crashing out for Instagram comments? You crashing out for hold on. You crashing out. You crashing out over a nigga who literally got on an iPhone or some iPad kids. You literally are about to do life in prison because an iPad kid made his username chubbyboy174@gmail.com. C get pins, right? C got dollars. Slot for Vonnie. You let chubbyboy157 username trick you out your family, nigga. I won, nigga. Do you rather be a real nigga?
Like, yo, I wouldn't even allow him to say that on my platform because it's so outlandish. That is so outlandish that, yo, you cannot say that on my platform, bro. But since academics probably believes it too because he's just as fucking, you know, him and 6ix9ine is like, you know, compatible. Yo, you couldn't tell me that, bro. Like, yo, I'm not trying to hear that. That's not, come on. No. Internet ain't played no role in any decisions that may have been made. Any decisions. You talking about a guy that been losing friends that's from this lifestyle, lived this life, knows how shit go, been involved in wars, or around wars. You think the internet, if everything is true, the internet is the reason that he decided. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck no. I'd have cut his mic. Like, are you talking nonsense, brother? Talking nonsense, shorty. Just sounds stupid. And I guarantee if we just go through the comments, a lot of people is going to be saying the same thing. Even though in the same breath, the Fed said that the night King Von was killed, Dirk texted somebody and said, I'm not letting this slide. The same night. Get the fuck out of here, man. Shit is nonsense. Oh, but Karmelo Anthony, y'all. Now, we covered the Karmelo Anthony trial, y'all. I think what happened with Karmelo Anthony was fucking wrong. Y'all remember we was the first people over here saying that his defense team threw him before the internet took it and ran with it. Keefe G News was saying it from the door. That he got thrown by the defense. When everybody was saying the all-white jury, I said no. the lack of prosecution, the judge closing the courtroom down. Everybody remember this. I was like, yo, if the defense team, the new defense team, try to get an appeal based off the grounds that it wasn't no black people in the jury, that ain't gonna work. And when they put out their appeal, you notice they never mentioned that. It was instruction issues, evidentiary issues at hand during that trial, way before it got to the jury. Way before it got to the jury. That's why we never ran that narrative over here, man. It was so many other issues with that trial to worry about for the focus to be, yo, it wasn't no black people on the jury. Yo, it's in Collins County. More than likely, it ain't gonna be no black people on the motherfucking jury. You feel me? But the issues was the judge. The issues was closing down the courtroom. The issues was the ruling. The issues with the defense attorney. Those were the issues and those were the grounds for the appeal. The issue was the judge kept allowing the prosecution to label Karmelo Anthony as a killer. Never objected to. Never told them to stop. Like, yo, how are you labeling him a killer? He ain't been found guilty yet. At this point, everything is alleged. Not a killer, but a murderer. It's the difference between, it's difference in it's different classifications of murder. Y'all remember we had that whole conversation. And then, y'all remember, we was the first people that covered that fact that the judge did a fucking interview. We have never, ever in the history of me being on YouTube, ever seen a judge do an interview. That was crazy. Then we find out that it was a secret deal that was made by the defense and the prosecution, where the defense wasn't supposed to question anybody's character. Like, that was that shit was insane. When you find out that Austin Metcalf had all this racism in his history. But going back to Nick at Night, because she been covering it and she been doing a great job. Even though I asked her to be on her platform to talk about this shit several times. And she have yet to motherfucking oblige. But it is what it is. I think they scared of me on these platforms. There you go. Even though when it comes down to this type of stuff, I think the best information. We'll go to that video next. It ends up disseminated all over social media. You hit that like button, y'all. Share the live, man. There's some people on here, man. YouTube playing. Heart mode. It is pimping.
Hey, how are you? Happy to see you.
Right.
Pretty girl. How you feeling?
Man, check them out, man. People came out the courtroom happy as a bitch.
How you feeling?
Remember when all them racists was coming over here? I said, yo, this trial is far from over. Like, yo, the true fighting don't really start till post-conviction. That's when the fight really starts. That's one of the things I learned when I was going through what I was going through. Luckily, I ain't go the way that it could have went. But that's what the old heads always taught me, y'all. Once you get convicted, it's time to fight. That's when the real fighting happens. And Karmelo Anthony, defense team, been fighting like a motherfucker since he been arrested. And I think this case is going to get overturned. Or at the very least, he's going to get another trial or some type of sentence reduction. Because he should not have been found guilty of no fucking first-degree murder at all. Shouldn't have been found guilty of that, man. It shouldn't even have been the initial charge.
Hey, I appreciate your show.
Oh, okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh my God. That was emotional.
Yeah, it was. It was intense.
When I saw that kid walk out there with that.
I'm like, when he first started talking, I was getting a little nervous, but then I was like, wow.
Come on, man, if we talk. And that's another thing, man. That was another issue. You find out that it was a deal that he basically couldn't even take the stand. Like, how the fuck do you not allow the man to take the stand in his own self-defense when it's supposed to be a self-defense case? Like, oh, this case was, the fix was in, and the judge was a part of it. The judge, the prosecution, the defense attorney was all a part of this fucking takedown of Carmelo Anthony, man. Not the all-white jury. Like I said, with the evidence presented and the lack of rebuttal to the evidence, I'd have found them guilty of first-degree murder. Just looking at the evidence. Just looking at the lack of defense. What's up, Benji? That wasn't the issue, man. The issue was the case. It was Collins County.
All right, hey guys, we are outside of Collin County. Judge Roach has just been recused off of the case. So it was man, I don't even know how to describe the intense moment in the courtroom when they said that he will be removed off of the case. Everybody came out shouting. Everybody came out. Everybody's coming out right now. So there's another hearing tomorrow. He has been recused off of this case. Okay, you are hearing it here first. Reporting live.
I was just ready to ask you about
from
that.
Collin County, Judge Roach has been recused. He is no longer going to be the judge over Karmelo. We got one more day tomorrow, but you can see the atmosphere out here. Let me show you guys. How you feeling, sis? How you feeling? Pretty girl. How you feeling?
All the races is gone.
Oh, man.
That lets you know who really cared about this case. Those antagonists didn't care. You feel me? Because if they cared, they'd have seen the case all the way through like we are. They just like being in the way. That's all. They just like being in the way, man. Get the fuck out the way, because this beef that black people in the United States have ain't even with y'all. To be honest, y'all peons. Just like we is to the system. Our issue is with the system, man. Get the fuck out the way and let us deal with this fucking system.
Yes. All right, hey y'all. So I am going to go over everything that happened, what they argued in court. I'm gonna go over how one of the Metcalf family members that was here last time, I guess they were not a part of the family passes that they gave. They went up to try to hug Megan Metcalf, and she got kicked out of the courtroom. Kicked out of the courthouse. Jeff Metcalf, he was a hoot. Okay, he was a hoot. Also, Bill Werski, he was a hoot. Okay, but the dream team came in and they did their big one. So we're gonna see what happens tomorrow. I'm gonna wait till I go home to really go over the notes. But I just wanted to give you guys that immediate reaction of people here.
Yeah, they gotta get that boy a new trial, man. They gotta get that boy a new trial, man. It's only right. It's only right. Let's see what these other people was talking about. We gotta get on Stephen A. Smith too, man. Dumbass. I don't know if we're gonna have time to go through Keefe D.
Oh, you talk about you getting put out. You got a couple minutes. Oh, yeah. Put out. Let me tell y'all. They done put me out in the courtroom today. When you in the courtroom, you in the house. They put me out. Yeah. So what happened? Okay. So I'm in there with my cell phone. You come up. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. So I'm in there with my cell phone, and of course I'm on my Snapchat. So I was in there just kind of on my Snapchat, like y'all see all the Karmelo support. So the officer was like, you gotta get out. And I'm like, what I gotta get out for? He was like, cause you in here recording on your phone. I'm like, what? I'm not in the courtroom. I'm not in the overflow room or anything like that. I'm actually in the waiting room. I'm like, I didn't see anything that said that I couldn't have my phone to record. He said it's a sign. And this man told me it's a sign right here in the front when you enter that says you cannot record. That's a lie. It's a sign that say you can't have your phone.
All right, come on, man. We don't want to hear that.
What y'all allow in the courtroom and what y'all not allowed. Women of faith, all power to the people. All power to the people. All power to the people. All power. Okay, and who is that over there to the right being shot? Come on. I put in a media request and they said only 9 were given, and I did count 11 media people did not specifically see in line with us. So I'm just gonna say that we arrived at 4 a.m. So we seen everyone that was in line, we seen everyone that was in the overflow, and some people that received those cards were not in line. Okay, so around 9:10 is when our nephew came in. He was escorted in and with shackles. At about 9:12, Judge Sid Harley arrives, and at 9:14, Russell requested for the shackles to be removed, and there was no objection. Important to know that Russell was leading this motion. Russell entered in his evidence was the video of the interview that Roach did 2 days after the guilty verdict and the sentence. Worski did not want us to listen to the video. He said everybody had already heard it, but that's them again making decisions for us. I'm sure there were people inside of the room that never heard the interview that Judge Roach did.
So on my page,
Karmelo was convicted. Okay, so important to note, I was sitting where I could visualize everything. To the left was the Met class pretty much and some of the media, and to the right was the Anthony side and majority of the media. I do want to let y'all know that Worski was pretty much asleep the entire time. So he said he wasn't there to defend Roach, but at the end of the day, he really did. Yes. He said that it wasn't their job to defend Roach. So it goes on. The video is being played. Again, Worski is having problems staying awake. Both sides rested on that argument. And during this time, Russell is really, before that, Russell is really, I mean, after the video is played, we didn't see any, it's just audio. Russell was really having a hard time with his laptop and getting it viewable for all of us. So they had IT to come in. But by the time IT came in, he had figured it out. So his first thing was, what would a reasonable, fully informed observer think if they saw Judge Roach's interview? Meaning, what would we all think as a public, not as attorneys, not as civil rights activists,
I thought that was
not
crazy.
as paralegals, but us as public. How would we feel about his interview? And that's the one thing that got Judge Roach refused today, because Harley did make the statement that he felt like Judge Roach could oversee the motion for a new trial himself. He felt like he could do it fairly, but he didn't feel like the public could do it. And that's what matters here, is what the public thinks. A couple important things that he brought was a 30B10, which is a judge should abstain from public comments about pending or impeding motions or trials coming up. And Judge Roach did his interview 2 days after Karmelo was convicted. They did stay on the fact that majority was the Sixth Amendment rights to a public trial is what was, the findings of where they said we needed a motion for a new trial. And they referenced the Weiler versus Georgia.
He was not supposed to close that courtroom down, man. The fix was in the minute he decided to have no media or limit the media and limit the public. The fix was already in.
Case where a courtroom may be closed if the trial court can't make
You don't
findings.
get a new trial.
They have 4 requirements to make. He said that there was a disregard from Roach for Karmelo to have a public trial. He eliminated the overflow room after jury selection. So a lot of people today were able to be in the overflow room, but during the trial, that overflow room was not available, and that's violating his Sixth Amendment right. He made references to certain things that Roach did say in the interview.
Like the judge lied, talking about some of the witnesses was threatened. Yo, we didn't even know none of the witnesses. You know what I mean? Remember, we read the article when he gave his reasoning for closing down the courtroom. And one of the reasons was witnesses was already threatened. Yo, we knew none of these kids. They was children that nobody knew who was testifying in defense or in opposition to Karmelo Anthony to be getting any fucking type of threats. He was just on some bullshit. That's all it was.
And Roach specifically said, what's the point of an overflow screen if the public is going to make their opinion anyway? Judge Harley said it doesn't matter what opinion the public makes, the facts need to be put out and they can make it. Yes. The interviewer, they pointed out that the interviewer corrected Judge, and it's because the judge said he wanted to make it pretty much available to the media, and the interviewer that was interviewing Roach told him that the media is an extension of the public. And that they also said that the judge should not make public comments. There was a Canon 2A that Russell brought in, but Judge Harley was really saying those are things that he really didn't want to address today. He said that Judge said he's never met, he doesn't know Judge Roach personally, but he did meet him at a conference before, so he has no relationship, and he feels that's why he was appointed to this case for the motion, because he has no personal relationship. Another big thing to understand, it was pointed out that Judge Roach did not want to calm any rumors for the Anthony, but he wanted to go and kind of clear up rumors for the Metcalf as far as the AI and things, the people posting pictures saying that this is the judge, and he's not allowed to do that. So this is some of the reasons, they have some OP 209s, and I'm not really familiar what they are, but it just starting out to not.
Remember, y'all, the only reason he was given this case is so he can retire. Remember, we talked about that. Like, what are the odds that however many judges they got in Collins County, Karmelo Anthony case, who's more than likely the biggest case they've probably ever seen, goes to a judge that's retiring at the end of the year? Told y'all that's the way they do, yo. Whenever they get these type of cases where the evidence is shaky or is going to be severely prejudiced, they give it to either a rookie judge, like they did in my case, or a judge that's on out.
Make comments on public rules, basically. Further into it, another big thing that I didn't know, there was no pre-trial for this murder trial. There was no pre-trial for this murder trial. They also stated, in regards to him locking the courts down, there were no threats in the clerk files in regards to him protecting any witness. Judge
Told you. I told y'all. Remember I said that months ago. What no motherfucking threats, man. I told y'all that months ago. I just repeated it. I ain't watched this shit. That was a fucking lie, man. That's how you know the fix was in. Yo, Karmelo ready to get a new trial. He ready to get a new trial. That's what's ready to happen.
He wanted to protect the state's witnesses, and he also wanted to protect Karmelo Anthony. But there's nothing on file that said there was any threats to anyone.
Nobody knew who the witnesses was.
Not on file in the transcripts.
He lied.
The law requires that if there are, and you make those decisions, they have to be on the record. They also said that the law and the rules given to the jury were wrong. And like I said, at this point, where Worski is speaking, and he did say that he really likes to have the last word. They had went back and forth, and they had really rested, but he stood back up to reiterate that he was not here. Judges are
damn near exempt from prosecution, man. Like it takes a lot to prosecute a judge, y'all. That's why they gave it to him, because he was ready to retire. And any backlash, if it is backlash, it's falling on basically death is. He's already gone. It ain't going to mess with his pension or nothing.
But he feels like he
Right.
always has to have the last word. He also addressed the
Straight up, see
and
what
said that
it
you guys
is.
were, here to disrupt the trial. He pointed out that some were inside the courtroom. He really called them some names that I'm not going to repeat. He said that you guys were providing misinformation. They also discussed the open letter that Judge Roach wrote to Collin County and his employees, and they described it as Worski said that this is bitter to swallow, that people are making a new motion because of this one letter and interview that Roach did. He said it's bitter to swallow. That was his exact words. There's, the gratitude letter is a main issue too. They said that Judge Roach treated the case as closed, and Karmelo, I believe, filed his appeal the first night he went to jail. So the judge said that this matter was closed and that he wanted to do his due diligence to basically reassure the community that we don't accept these type of things in Collin County and we need to stay away, basically. Sure. And that was pretty much the end of it. Like I said, Harley did say that he felt like Roach could make a decision again in regards to the motion, but he felt that the public, he did have us thinking that he was not going to recuse him. So in the end, he said that he don't feel like the public is reassured that he's going to handle this in the manner that it should be handled.
Yeah, yo. I knew that was bogus, man. Yo, really, I remember because I'm like, yo, why the fuck did he even close the courtroom? Then we looked it up, and one of the reasons was it was threats to the fucking witnesses. And I'm like, yo, threats to the witnesses, like nobody knew none of the witnesses. Nobody knew. Like, if anything, they did a great job of protecting these children. To this day, we still don't know none of the witnesses. You feel me? So how the fuck you gonna say witnesses was already harassed? That was a fucking lie, man. His ass need to be prosecuted. Yeah, but we gotta talk about I gotta bring Keefe D trial. Mob James got on the stand and testified, right? And I gotta break down this part of his testimony because so his whole Mob James' whole thing was he don't want to send Keefe D to jail, right? But him being on the stand is an indication to me that he gave statements during the time Tupac was murdered, right? That's the only way I can see them bringing him on the stand 20 years later. Now, he had a back and forth with Keefe D attorney. And his what's the word, man? His combativeness, because he didn't want to testify. How can I explain this shit, man? I'm saying like this. Keefe D attorney was trying to get him basically to admit that since he wasn't there, and since the people wasn't there, because it was a gang war after Pac was murdered, then there's no way to possibly know for certain that Keefe D and Orlando Anderson was the culprits behind Tupac's death. Now, because he was so combative and irritated because he didn't want to be there, it completely blew over his head. And it created this back and forth where he ultimately ended up doing what he said he wasn't trying to do. And that was send Keefe D to jail. Yeah, that's the best way I can explain it.
Nothing to do with me. I did it for a paycheck. I did it on just because I'm older now. I get it. But we did things for all the wrong reasons at that time, in them days.
All right, here we go.
Is that what you're referring to as the time that you told them, like, hey, any attorney here is better treat me as hostile because...
Yeah, I told him I didn't have nothing to do with it.
No. A couple questions for you, sir. This is more for clarification. So on the night of the murder, you were working as the head of security for 662.
Yes.
Explain for us a little bit about the club. Was that Suge's club or was it somebody else's club?
Sure, to my understanding.
Okay. And when you were there as head of security, were you there? Had you worked there as head of security prior to this particular night?
We did an event there once before. Yeah, same thing.
Okay. And on this particular night, was this an event like a
saying he's gonna be all right? So people just went back to, me.
right? Now, in terms of the that night, you go back to Compton. You live in Compton.
Yes.
You still live in Compton?
No.
At the time you live in Compton, you go back to Compton, and you tell us.
Nah, yo. I'm gonna tell you why I ain't saying free Keefe D. Yeah, because Keefe D is a fucking slime ball. Keefe D put himself in a fucked up situation by getting arrested for that PCP. And in order for him to get out of that situation that he was in, he decided to give information on this Tupac murder. You feel me? Then, once he decided to work with the government, he flew to New York to try to get Zip to implicate himself in the murder. So Keefe D is a slime ball. You understand what I'm saying? No, I shouldn't be low. Keefe D is a slime ball, man. That's what Keefe D is. Hold up. So, to me, it ain't even about Pac. I don't think Pac would even want Keefe D arrested for this. You feel me? If you listen to some of the other testimony, when Pac got shot, he was talking. And the police asked him who did it, and he never ever said nothing. So I don't think Pac even would want Keefe D arrested. But Keefe D ain't gonna get no free Keefe D from me, because Keefe D was trying to send other niggas to prison to save himself. Now, Keefe D can beat this case because there's no physical evidence outside of his own testimony. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't give a fuck what happens with Keefe D, to be honest. I don't. He flew all the way to New York with a wire to get Zip to talk about the case just to save himself. So, man, fuck Keefe D. I ain't gonna lie.
That there was a lot of tension.
Can
you describe that for us when you went back in terms of what kind of tension we're talking about?
All right, so this is the part I'm talking about. The lawyer is trying to get Mob James to admit that he wasn't there. He don't know who shot Pac. But since he was combative and since he didn't want to snitch, he ultimately ended up doing the opposite of what the lawyer wanted them to do. So I wanted to show y'all this back and forth because it's kind of confusing if you don't break it down. You understand what I'm saying? Mob James is basically asking Keefe D, like, what is your lawyer doing? I'm not trying to send you to jail, and he keep asking me this question. But the lawyer was asking him this question because he understood that Mob James ain't trying to send him to jail. So what he wanted Mob James to ultimately say is, I don't know who shot Tupac. We assumed that it was whatever the fuck gang that was. We assumed that it was Orlando Anderson. We assumed that it was Keefe D, but we didn't know for sure. He didn't do that. So check out this back and forth. Let me rewind it so y'all can hear the question again.
Yes. You still live in Compton? No. At the time you live in Compton, you go back to Compton, and you tell us that there was a lot of tension. Can you describe that for us when you went back in terms of what kind of tension we're talking about?
You sure you want me to answer that?
See?
Is it going to be graphic?
See?
No, I got the basic word in it, but you asked me a question.
Yes, he wants you to answer that.
And what I explained to them, I don't want to send him to prison.
Look, yes, he wants you to answer that. Yes. Admit that you don't know. That's what he wanted them to do. But Mob James is being so combative, he didn't do it. He thought the lawyer was basically working against his client, but no, his lawyer is trying to get you to admit that you don't know. It's possible that nobody knows. We just assumed it was them, but he ain't do it. He ain't do it.
Sure. Even though we don't like each other. Sure. I don't want to say you Christian. So that's why I'm here where I'm at and where I am, because I've changed my life. I'm raising my grandkids, teaching them never to be like their papa. And here I am explaining to people what I used to be. And I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of that at all. And you asking me questions that can hurt him. And like I told them, I'm trying to avoid to answer the questions that they might look at me and say, something is wrong.
Well, let me put it this way. Let me help you out with this. Okay. So these people right here, what they want to know from you is, did you see who shot Tupac?
I told you no.
Correct. So outside of that question, right? The next question I'm asking you is, when you went back to Compton, was it like a Southside Crib shoots a Pirate Blood, and then a Pirate Blood shoots a Southside Crib? Is that the tension that we're talking about?
He's supposed to say no. He's supposed to say, I don't know. That's what he wanted him to say, man. But Marv James never caught it. He tried to alley hoop him to basically say, I don't know. I don't know who killed Tupac. I don't know. I don't even think it was him. But he never caught it, y'all. He never caught it. And he internalized it in a way that he thinks that Keefe Disloyal is working against him.
Do I answer this?
That's a straightforward question. It's a yes or no answer.
Okay.
Did you see that?
When I was a part of that life, I was a part of that. And I was, no, because you asking something that's going to hurt this dude.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, let me stop.
And once again, I want to emphasize.
When we got back to Compton,
okay,
it was a gang war. People were getting hurt.
Okay.
People were looking for certain individuals from his neighborhood, as well they did mine. But
see, he don't want him to do all this. He tried to give him a pass so he didn't do all of this. He dropped the ball, man. He dropped the ball. Are y'all following what I'm saying? He just wanted him to say, yo, we don't know. It was a gang war, and I don't know who it was between. He ain't do that, though. He told the truth.
Orlando, him, and certain other people were being salted because people wanted to kill them.
Sure. Were they the only ones that they wanted to kill?
I'm not the only one up in here. No, they weren't the only one. It's his neighborhood in particular. But they were the main subject.
He should have just said, no, they're not the only one, and just left it at that. That way it broadens who could have killed Tupac. But he goes on to say, no, but they was the main subject. He fucked it up, yo. He ultimately ended up going against what he said he was up there to do.
Of a gang war. It was in the middle, such as me.
So you're telling us that people back home somehow had some type of information that said that guy and a bunch of other people were involved in what?
In the murder of Tupac.
See?
Okay. But my question to you.
See?
My question to you.
Stop.
See what I'm saying? You weren't supposed to say that, bro. He's giving you the pass to not say that. But since he being so combative, he never caught it. He never caught the play, man. Mark James, yo, he wilded on the stand, yo.
Can you focus on me for a second, sir?
Yeah, I will.
And I apologize. I just want to make sure that we're clear, okay, for these people. In terms of that information, none of those people were there, right?
And what people you be speaking on? The people that was already in the neighborhood, or the people that left Las Vegas that same night Tupac was shot to go home, bear their arms, and go to somebody else's neighborhood to look for somebody. They had to pay it back.
So once again, my question to you is that the information that...
Now, what the lawyer should have done, once he realized that he ain't catching it, he should just backed off of it. He should just backed off of it. He ain't catching it, bro. He's trying to force it, and he ultimately end up hurting his client. He ain't catch it.
Ask about is the people that back home, you're saying were eyewitnesses to this?
How could people back home be eyewitnesses to something that happened in Vegas? No, that's not what I'm saying.
The people that were here in Las Vegas, this is my question, sir. The people that were here in Las Vegas,
Look,
you're telling me were.
He trying to listen to what I'm saying. I'm with you on this. You ain't trying to send him to jail. I ain't either. So listen to what I'm saying. He never fucking caught it, yo. He never caught it.
Eyewitnesses to what happened and went back home. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you, people that was at 6.
Just answer my question, sir. Yes or no?
I can't answer that without what you call. You trying to tell me to say something that you're not going to understand. If you let me explain to you.
No, answer my question.
I'm not answering nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, Mr. McDonald, focus for a second.
I am focused. Very
focused on this.
Never caught it,
my question to you is this. You didn't know what happened that night because you weren't there.
I was at 662.
Right. Do you know who that was there?
I know everybody that was
No.
there.
Okay.
He's supposed to say no. He's supposed to say no. No, I don't. So the lawyer can then in turn say, well, so you don't know who killed Tupac Shakur. He was supposed to say no. And then he would have been recused. Have a good day, Mr. Mob James. But he never caught the shit, yo.
Talk to your lawyer, man. This dude is tripping. I'm not going to explain that. I can't answer that.
Okay, let me ask you this next question then. You are telling us that people back in Compton, for some reason, knew what happened here in Las Vegas.
No.
A phone conversation. People found out when people left Las Vegas the same night Tupac was shot, went straight back to Compton.
He was supposed to say no. Yeah, you're right. No, they didn't know. They didn't know. There's no way they could have possibly known. They wasn't there. That's what he was supposed to say, man. They'll fuck that money up.
It only takes 3.5 hours to get home.
Sure.
Yes, it wasn't a problem for people to find out what happened. No problem at all.
They got on their phones, they texted people, they let them know what happened here on the night of the shooting.
Yeah. They had walkie-talkies, they had all kinds of phones. They had ways to call people to say whatever. But when people left Las Vegas that same night, after they found out and got in their cars and went home because it was a situation, Pac was shot. Retaliation is a mug. Come on, man. You got like it was for real, for real. All of this was for real.
Now, the night of the shooting, did you have a walkie-talkie, an XL thing or something like that?
No.
Did Reggie Wright?
I don't know what he had. I don't know how much money he had in his pocket. I don't know what he had on his hip.
But you were the head of security. But you're telling us you did not have any.
Right-wing security has nothing to do with the gang banging security, power rules, whatever you want to call it. They had nothing to do with us. Okay. The phones that Suge had for certain individuals, they had the phones. Like the guy that was bodyguard for Tupac that night. Like some of the guys that was at the Tyson fight, like Suge Knight. Certain individuals had phones. Yes, they did.
Okay. So, all right, I get what you're saying. You're not there, but you're saying other people were.
Yes, I'm saying there was a lot of people there.
A lot of people were there at the shooting that took place.
That was in the entourage, yes.
Let's see.
So what the lawyer should have then said, once the lawyer see how he didn't catch on, what he should have then asked him was, is it possible that the people back home got bad information? And if Keefe D would have caught it, he'd have said yeah. And then he would have been dismissed. Y'all follow me? That way it creates doubt for Keefe D.
Okay, just one final question. You're here today, and I think the state had asked this question under a subpoena. You're ordered to be here today, right?
Yes.
In terms of that subpoena, for instance, is that's the only reason why you're here is because of that subpoena?
I don't have no other reason to be here.
Yeah. In order for you to get that subpoena, you were served that subpoena back in California?
Yes.
By a police officer?
I don't know. He was in uniform.
Okay. And that order required you to go to a court in California?
I had to go to court in Victorville.
And then
the crazy thing about it is, bro, the lawyer was trying hard. And Mob James admitted that he's not trying to send him to jail, but he just couldn't comprehend what was going on at the time. He couldn't comprehend it because he didn't want to be. It's crazy, y'all. But he fucked it up. Yo. The lawyer tried to alley hoop him, and he fucking didn't catch the ball.
That court in California said you have to show up here.
In that court, I cussed them out and told them, you can't make me do nothing.
Right.
And in that court, they told me that I would be in detention court. Me raising my grandkids, I'm not going to put my grandkids in the car and move somewhere so y'all can't find me. So all that running and living a different life, I ain't doing it. So I agreed to come. And like I explained to everybody in here, you ask me something, I'm going to be honest about. You ask me something I don't want to talk about, you're going to have a problem. Treat me as a hostile witness. You're not going to talk to me and tell me as a grown man what I have to do up here. I'm not going to send him to prison. You are.
See?
So the accusation now is because of the fact that we're trying to ask you questions, they're blaming it on me.
You asking me questions. If I just like answer your questions, we're going to have a problem in here, a misunderstanding. And
Yo, see, that's what I'm saying, yo. The only way it would be a misunderstanding is if he gave statements prior. If this is the first time you're being questioned about this, you can tell him anything. You ain't bound by no previous statements. So you don't necessarily even have to tell the truth. Unless you made statements prior and then they're able to bring these statements back up and say, well, back in 1996, you said this. That's what leads me to believe he already made statements.
you're asking me something that wouldn't be good with him.
Right. And once again, I just want to look. We're just trying to figure out who shot Tupac. You're telling us that you guys it. That's all I want to know. At the end of the day, that's it. Right?
Was I in the entourage when Tupac got shot? No.
Okay. Nothing else, right?
I was at 62. I mean, that ain't hard. That's easy math.
No further questions.
Anything further, sir?
Look, he fucked it up. Fucked it up.
You're telling us that you guys it. That's all I want to know. At the end of the day, that's it. Right?
Was I in the entourage when Tupac got shot? No.
Okay. Nothing else, right?
I was at 62. I mean, that ain't hard. That's easy math.
No further questions.
So he ultimately end up getting what he kind of sort of. Like, I give him shit. Then go either way, 50-50 to the jury. But if Mob James would have caught on, he'd have did exactly what he wanted to do. What he said he wanted to do for Keefe did. And that would have been created doubt for the jury. I wanted to show that part because that part was probably could be confusing to people. All right, now you got Stephen A, man. It's fucking Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. motherfucking Smith. So Stephen A. Smith got a thumbs down award from the National Black Journalism, whatever. National Association of Black Journalists. Right? Let me show y'all that. Come on, Chloe. Cut it out.
When Stephen A. Smith launched his straight shooter era, he built a whole personal brand around being unfiltered, no apologies, no filter, just heat and opinions, okay? But here's what he didn't calculate, or maybe he just didn't care. His community was listening, okay? NABJ just gave him a thumbs down award for a documented pattern of disparaging commentary toward Black women. His response, attack the organization, not address the feedback, attack the messenger. And I'm watching this and I'm thinking about something specific. He assumed his community would just lay down and take it, that Black athletes and Black women would just absorb the venom without striking back, that the people with the power of the pen, some of them who started the same way he started, who once cheered for him, would stay quiet, but they didn't. A room full of Black journalists, Black people with platforms, people with credibility, some who've walked similar paths in media as him. They looked at his work and they said, we see the pattern and we're calling it out. And the fact that they're now applauding NABJ for giving him that award, that's very telling. He miscalculated, or he just didn't care. And honestly, I'm not sure which one.
I think Stephen A. Smith deserves the award. He deserves it. And it ain't even just about attacking Black women, man. So here you go right here.
Such commentary reinforces harmful narratives, undermines the fair and respectful representation of Black women in public discourse, and stands in direct conflict with NABJ's long-standing commitment to accurate, responsible, and inclusive portrayals of Black communities. The Washington Post. The Washington Post.
Now look. Now, I guess the comments that they're talking about is centered around Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama, and Jasmine Crockett. Now look, right? I ain't had no problem with what he said about Kamala Harris. Or I ain't had no problem with what he said about even one of them. I think he went too hard on Jasmine Crockett, being as though the position that he hold, even though I agree with him, but certain things is better left unsaid, especially when you got a huge platform like he has.
Stephen A. Smith, sports analyst and political commentator. Smith has established a recurring public pattern of disparaging commentary directed at prominent Black women across politics, sports, and media. Such commentary reinforces harmful narratives.
So I ain't had a problem with getting that
undermines
shit.
The fair and respectful representation.
Now, the woman, I guess the head of it, spoke on the reasons that she gave him this award. Because I think he been deserved this type of award. Not even because of anything he do to Black women, just his commentary toward the Black community. So here goes some of the things. He defended Donald Trump by comparing his prosecution to the racist prosecution of Black historical figures. Used the term MAGA lawfare to frame cases against Trump as politically motivated. But I don't disagree with him with this. I think the attacks against Trump was politically motivated. Argued Black voters should consider voting Republican. I don't see no problem with that. Said racism is not as prevalent as many claim. Now that's an issue. Defended Jerry Jones after the segregation photo resurfaced. That's an issue. I ain't had no problem with that. No problem with that. Well, I did have a problem with Jasmine Crockett. I don't think he should have did that. He should have talked to her about that. Engaged in a public dispute with Joy Reid. I don't see no issue with that. Attacked Cheryl Swoops, calling her take insane while defending Caitlin Clark. Criticized Angel Reese over clothing while praising Caitlin Clark's branding. Feuded with Monica McNutt after she challenged his show, limiting WNBA coverage before Caitlin Clark. The man defended ICE after the killing of Renee Good. I ain't no problem with that either. Minimized systematic racism, calling it overstated. That's an issue. And appears frequently on Sean Hannity and echoes right-wing talking points. Praised Brian Donalds, despite Donalds' praise of Jim Crow era. Defended Trump against accusation of racism. Targets Black male athletes more harshly than whites. That's true. I think that's the biggest issue. This is the biggest issue right here. This is the biggest issue, man. Targets Black male athletes more harshly than white owners and power figures. And it definitely was long overdue. Now, he got an issue with this.
this.
And this is what so hold up, before I get to his issue and how he decided to move forward with the issue. This nigga goes to Sean Hannity in Como. So here's the president right here.
You look at who we named this year, I think we have to agree that there's a clear through line. We're looking at the forces that make it harder for Black journalists to do their jobs and harder for Black communities to be covered fairly and fully, right? That includes government officials that are exerting their pressure on the press, news organizations that are making decisions that weaken diversity and coverage, media owners who are facing questions about the treatment of Black journalists who we know are under attack by internal and external forces across this country. And also influential commentators whose rhetoric can reinforce harmful narratives about Black people, particularly Black women. Now, you know,
one of the worst things Stephen A. Smith decided to do, was start speaking on everything. Like I told y'all, I remember when he first started, we don't need Stephen A. Smith speaking on everything. We don't need him doing that, yo. Like, he turned into a blogger. Y'all remember we was at, who remember about a year ago or a couple months ago, I was like, this nigga Stephen A. Smith is a blogger now, man. Like, everybody want to be a blogger. Like, you was doing whatever you was doing in sports. The minute he decided to start speaking on everything, I think that's when the real issues started to Yeah, I think that's when the real issues started to become apparent, man. When he started speaking on everything.
Sport together for
like we already know how controlled he is. Like he's controlled. He's controlled. So him speaking on everything was dangerous.
For a year now, and I've been very clear that advocacy is central to my presidency, particularly advocacy around Black women in our profession. So that means defending Black journalists when they are targeted, but it also means challenging institutions or individuals. You look at who we named this year, I think we have to agree that
it is BS. And I get a lot of people want to pile on and they want to jump on it because you have your own individual feelings about me. I'm here to tell y'all are entitled to that. Not the NABJ. You're not entitled to that. This is me we're talking about here. I am the same guy that brought a nationally televised show to a journalism conference, which is the NABJ, the last 2 years. Did you have anything to say about me then? Did I get a thumbs down then? First Take, a nationally televised show.
Like, Stephen A. Smith be missing a point, bro. Like, that shit is not like he don't get it. It's like, certain people get so much money, they just become tone deaf to reality. It ain't about that, bro. It ain't about that, my nigga. You be having some wild ass takes, man. Like, for real, like, specifically when it's pertaining to Black people. When I used to watch First Take, and there was issues that arise, and they talked about it on First Take. Max Kellerman was smoking Stephen A. Who can remember? When him and Max Kellerman was doing First Take together, and certain issues arise, I was siding with Max Kellerman. Way more than I was siding with Stephen A. Smith. That's the issue, bro. Loud as your voice is, and the position that you got with ESPN, Disney, you gotta make sure you know what you're talking about, man. Now, I ain't gonna say defend some shit that's indefensible, or not speak your mind, but a lot of times, them takes be sounding like it ain't necessarily coming from you, my nigga. You feel me? Like that's what it be sounding like. Like, there's no way you saying this to all these people.
Which has been number one for 14 straight years.
Yeah.
It is BS.
Somebody did tell him that 700. And somebody did tell him Max was blacker than
We came to the National Association for Black Journalists in Chicago and Cleveland back-to-back years. Of course, I got to thank ESPN for that. They're the ones that signed.
You see? You see? Like, yo, this is the issue, bro. This is the fucking issue. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, them bitches got you by the balls, bro. What the fuck? Yo, in the same breath, of course I gotta thank yo, fuck that. Yo, ESPN is it might be the reason why niggas is looking at you like this, my nigga. Yo, you got on a platform and say, yo, I gotta bring this up every time we talk about him. You got on a platform and said you wake up every day to make your bosses more money, my nigga. Like, yo, that was insane. That was crazy. And see how you can make some money off of that. Like, yo, that's a wild way of thinking, bro. Like, even if that's what you think, I don't know if you should have told anybody that, yo, because that sounds like a house nigga to me. That sounds like a nigga that's you know what I mean?
Off on that specifically, now former executive Dave Roberts. It doesn't happen without him. It doesn't happen without ESPN. But you know who else it doesn't happen without? Me. Because if I'm not willing to show up, we ain't coming. But I was there. I was there not just to do the show. I also stood in the booth for over an hour doing the jobs fair. I also gave a speech. I also mentored and talked to, as I continue to do, young, aspiring black journalists, and I have done that religiously for decades. We came to the national, started my career at the Philadelphia Inquirer. I know it's the New York Daily News as a high school reporter, but thereafter, in 1994, I began my career at the Philadelphia Inquirer, courtesy of Sandra Long, a longtime executive for the Philadelphia Inquirer, synonymous with the NABJ, whom I first met at the jobs fair of the NABJ. My career started because I was at the NABJ job fair. And yet, Saturday night, I saw the president of the organization, Erin Haynes, go up on stage and give me a thumbs down award.
Hey JP, why you want to hear what we talked about it, bro? Damn, JB, you're a little bit too late, man. I was looking for you about 45 minutes ago, man. Yeah, Stephen, they don't get it, man. He don't get it. He don't get it.
Stephen A. Smith just proved exactly why the National Association of Black Journalists gave him a thumbs down award. Because when black journalists held him accountable for his treatment of black women, this grown black man ran straight to white men for comfort and validation. Sean Hannity and Chris Cuomo, he went looking for some.
Yo, going to Sean Hannity was crazy, bro. Like, I don't know about Chris Cuomo. He be seeming like he kind of neutral sometimes. But going to Sean Hannity was insane. That was like, yo, come on, Steven. Come on, Steven. Tighten up, Sean.
Somebody white to tell him the black people criticizing him were wrong, and that may be the most embarrassingly revealing thing Stephen A. Smith could have done. Understand what happened here, y'all? A black professional organization looked at Stephen A.'s public behavior, his public commentary, and his public attacks on black women and said, "We see you and we disapprove." He could have challenged the criticism on its merits. He could have spoken directly with the organization that issued the rebuke. Instead, he took his grievance to platforms where attacking black people and black institutions is practically a whole programming category and handed them another black organization to ridicule. Then he sat there while they reassured him that he was indeed the victim. That is the indictment. Because, see, apparently criticism from the NABJ only becomes worthy of consideration after Stephen A. takes it before the court of white approval.
Right. What he should have did was sit down with the NABJ, whatever the fuck the whatever that shit is, and talk to them. You don't run the Como and Sean Hannity, Steven. Like that was a wild ass move. Like Stephen A. Smith, crazy as shit.
This now, doesn't this have to do specifically with your criticism of radical people on the left? And you did mention a couple of African American women at times. Jasmine Crockett, who says nutty things. Joy Reid, who says, in my view, nutty things.
Now, Joy, I don't know, is he talking about Joy Taylor? Like, oh, this is crazy, bro. Like, who the fuck co-signed this? Like, yo, you got caught out by a black organization and you like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Like, this was validation. This was validation, bro, that what they're saying is correct.
Is that what this is about?
I think it is. I don't think there's any question about it, and that's why I spoke out.
And it's not that. Like I said, yo, what he do to black athletes is way worse. Why don't Luka Doncic get no fucking backlash? Why Luka Doncic don't get the same backlash as like, yo, he has been one of the best NBA players in the league for the longest. Stephen A. Smith, when talking about the Lakers' upcoming season, and mentioned that they got 3 white boys at the motherfucking as the best players on the league, he viewed them as, yo, they don't have a chance. Yeah, but these guys can play. Hold them accountable if they don't make the playoffs. Like he's already setting up a fucking narrative that if they fail miserably, it's just because they white. He's already setting it up. He's already setting up a situation where the expectations is low. But Luka is one of the best players in the league. Hold him to the same accountability that you'll hold a LeBron to, a Kevin Durant to, a Jason Tatum. All the other niggas is nice. That's the issue, bro.
Against it because I think it's utterly ridiculous. I was raised by 5 black women. My mother, God rest her soul, and my 4 older sisters.
And that's another thing. Yo, how many times you told us that, bro? Obviously, that shit means nothing. I think everybody in the world knows that you was raised by 5 black women. You've been saying that shit for 10 years straight. You've been saying it for 10 years. We know. We might even know that some people might even know their names.
2 daughters. I have 10 nieces. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I find it highly offensive that they would label me in this way. Give me a thumbs down award specifically for disparaging black women. I want everybody out there to know there's no such thing. That did not happen.
I told y'all I stopped fucking with Stephen A. I stopped fucking with all them guys when they pulled that move on Kyrie Irving, man. All of them. Y'all stance. Once a person show you who they is, believe them niggas. Ain't no coming back. Girl. You can't do what he did to Kyrie Irving. In my eyes, and never come back and be viewed as honorable, respectable, or none of that shit. Like Kyrie Irving shared the tweet. That's it. No context. Just shared the tweet. And they crucified that boy on ESPN, man. Him, Chris Broussard, Shannon Sharp. Only one had his back was Jason Williams. But all them guys that participated in that, man, fuck them forever. Fuck them forever, man. Like straight up.
Out lie. And that never happened. Whether it was Jasmine Crockett, whether it was Kamala Harris, whether it was Michelle Obama, I pointed to something that they said that I may have disagreed with. That is all. That is all that I have done. And this.
Yeah, but he went hard on Jasmine Crockett. With the position, like I understand, and that's another thing. It's like, yo, you'll go hard on her, yeah, but you don't go that hard on other people, man. Even if it was true. Like, I think what he said about Jasmine Crockett was true. But yeah, we have yet to see you go hard on other people that ain't black in that manner.
You said about Michelle Obama, well. She could win. That's what I remember you saying about her.
But what? No. Yeah, but remember what happened is that I said that I did not appreciate her saying that a vote for Donald Trump was a vote against women, because I said there are a plethora of reasons why people go to a poll. Some people might prioritize the economy, immigration, safety in the streets of America, national security, etc. There are a plethora of reasons why somebody would choose to vote. To sit up there and to say to African American men that a vote for Donald Trump would be a vote against women, I said, I don't think that's fair. And that's what I said. My point is, whether you agree or disagree, how does the word disparaging come into play? Or to talk about me degrading and denigrating black women? No, I've had a difference of opinion about something that they may have said. And that is all. But a journalistic organization that's supposed to, its foundation is supposed to be based on objectivity and, most importantly, uplifting.
Look, you disrespecting the whole organization on fucking Fox News, bro. Like, what are you doing, Steven? Sean Hannity is about as far as a right wing as it gets. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, this nigga crazy, bro. And mind you, I don't trust none of these black organizations either. But I wouldn't go over there and do that. Fuck no.
African Americans within the journalism industry. Well, excuse me, what have I accomplished in my career? Where am I sitting at right now? On September 29th, I'm about to be inducted into the Broadcast and Cable Hall of Fame. I've established myself as one of those people in this industry, but I'm not a Hall of Famer for the NABJ. I brought for my national television show, First Take from ESPN, in concert with ESPN and the great bosses that I have. We brought First Take, a nationally televised show, every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on ESPN.
Yo, he apologized to Kyrie Irving on his show. Did he do it on ESPN? I don't know. Somebody let me know in the comments. His apology to Kyrie Irving about COVID after he went in on Kyrie Irving about COVID on ESPN. Did he also apologize on First Take? I don't think he did, man. I don't think he did. Like, Stephen A. Smith, wow. This the same guy that still don't understand. Like, I remember a couple of months ago, he was surprised. Like, the black community don't like me? No, nigga. The fuck you mean? That shit was news to him? Like, ain't no way you just figured that out, bro. Ain't no way you just figured that the niggas don't fuck with you, bro. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember he did that? You mean to tell me that the black community? That shit was funny as shit. Like, damn, I thought you knew that by now, bro. You must have been reading the comments. You know? Must have been reading the comments, bro. Nah, we don't fuck with you, my nigga. We think you're controlled. And see, that's the thing, too. It ain't just him. You know, because he have said good things about the community and have come to bat for the community. But it's like whenever there's like a time when we really need them, like we really need, and all of them fall flat to this. When we really need y'all to speak up, you don't. What was his take on Karmelo Anthony? I think his take on Karmelo Anthony was bad. To be honest, I think we watched it. I think we got on him about that. But yeah, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's another day of Keeping G News in about